Hello and welcome to our podcast, Second Balcony. My name is Ryan.
I'm Cade. Welcome to us talking about movies and whatnot and debating.
Yes, so, here is what Second Balcony is. We have been friends for a long time.
Very long time, since we could remember, basically.
Yeah, and a lot of our movie opinions are super similar, I would say.
But a lot are very different, and that's where this podcast comes in.
Mm-hmm. Because there's some movies he doesn't like, which I really like, and there's movies he likes that I don't like, and that's what we're going to talk about.
And today we'll talk about Thor 3, and then we'll cover some new trailers that just came out this week.
Yes. So actually, Thor 3 is the biggest reason why this came about, because...
Yeah, because we had a fight over it.
Yeah. We have polar opposite opinions on Thor 3. Thor Ragnarok.
Write in the comments who likes what.
Yeah, I mean...
Who likes it, who hates it. I'll give you a hint, I hate it.
And I'll give you a hint, he's wrong. Okay, so let's back up before Thor 3. Let's talk about our experiences with Thor before Ragnarok.
Thor before Ragnarok. That sounds like a documentary, like an actual, like the actual Norse god Thor. Thor before Ragnarok.
Right,
With
yeah.
like a black and white picture of him, PBS, news special.
Yeah. Okay, do you remember seeing... We saw the first one together.
We didn't, actually. You
remember.
were with other friends in a separate city filming something. In high school.
In high school, yeah.
Yeah, you were a part of that the school shooter video.
Yeah.
Flagged.
But
yeah, the school shooter video. Your brother and I actually saw it together. And then you, I believe, saw it later that week.
Okay.
I think we saw Thor 2 together, though.
No, I didn't see Thor 2 until after it was on, out on DVD or Blu-ray.
Right. I don't remember who I saw Thor 2 with.
So, did you like the first Thor movie?
Yeah, I like the first Thor. It's not, like, the best piece of cinema ever. It's certainly not the best Marvel movie. But I really enjoyed it. I really liked seeing Thor on the big screen. That was our first look at Hawkeye, and I was super excited about that.
Yeah. I would say Thor, the first one, falls right in the middle of MCU good and bad movies.
I would agree with that. I think it's on the... I would say it's on the good side. It's not like a masterpiece by any means, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest point with Thor versus Thor 3, in my opinion, is if you look at those movies... I watched Thor 1 relatively recently after I watched Thor the first time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the same plot points happen.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like, Thor gets banished to Earth. He loses his hammer, just like he does in the movie.
Well, I will say I haven't seen the first one in a few years. It's been years.
Another thing that happens is Loki tells Thor that his father is dead, which happens in the third movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Thor loses his powers. And the difference between Thor 1 and Thor 3, and this is ultimately why I rank Thor 1 a lot higher than Thor 3, is because they actually gave time for his emotion. So they actually let you feel, even though he gets his hammer back, he gets his powers back, his dad's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a moment. Kenneth Branagh gives you a moment to absorb what's happened here with Thor and how it's affected Thor.
Yeah.
In Thor 3, he loses his hammer and he's like, alright, I guess that's gone.
I disagree, but we'll get to that.
Okay, this is where the debate comes in. But I feel like every time they tried to have an impactful moment, every time they tried to have anything emotional or important to the story, they undercut it with a joke. They're just like, haha, silly, funny rock man.
See, yeah, I know that's your main beef, and I also see it, and I agree, but hold on. We still have to go through, because Thor, or in Avengers, is well balanced out with Captain America and Iron Man. It's good.
I think Thor in Avengers is probably the best version of Thor. When Thor is with the other Avengers, I think that's my favorite time watching Thor. I don't like watching Thor in his own movies, really.
Yeah, because Thor 2 is not good.
I think I agree. I think Thor 2 is like but I don't think it's the worst of the worst. I think Thor 2 is just on that bottom half, just barely into the bad stuff, of stuff I enjoy. Because honestly, Thor 2, in my opinion, is the best representation of Thor from the comic books. Just solo Thor, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I guess I wouldn't know as well. I only read like Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I would say the reason it matters because then in Avengers 2, Thor's not in it a whole lot compared to all the other ones.
That's true.
All the other guys, all the other characters. But it matters because that's how we got Thor Ragnarok.
That's true.
Because 1 and 2 equaled 3, like what they wanted something different.
And I agree, and I think they just took it too far, in my opinion. I don't mind something different. I think it's a really good idea that they took Thor and threw him in a zany, crazy situation. But at the same time, I feel like they just went too far with it. They tried to make it too much like Guardians.
Well, I will agree. I think Marvel MCU is good at listening to criticisms.
Yeah, they're better than a lot of companies. They're still not the best, but
not that I don't feel like people should dictate what movies should be, like fanboying taking over. I mean, I don't think that's what happens for the MCU, but I think Marvel's actually pretty good at trying to do new things because of reactions.
Yeah, that's true. I think that Marvel adapts fairly well to the public opinion and the public eye, basically. Yeah.
So, okay.
What do you think about Thor 2, though? You kind of skipped over that a little bit.
See, I've only seen that one time. And I don't remember it, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah, it's one of the most forgettable MCU movies, I think. But I still don't think it's bad. I think there was a lot of decent stuff in it. Like I said, I think that's my favorite solo version of Thor. I think Thor from that movie, his character is my favorite version of him, aside from him interacting with the other Avengers.
Yeah. I love the beginning. Like, I think it starts out running, and then it...
Yeah.
Because he's in the cage, and he's like, basically, like, it's not like a record scratch, but it's essentially like, this is how I got here. I did this, I did that, blah, 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 blah. And, like, and I think it's awesome because... Oh, we should mention... We're not alone in this room. Cassie is also in
There's
here.
a ghost. Just kidding.
Cassie is our producer.
Yep. Say hi, Cassie.
Hi, Cassie.
Thank you.
Yeah, cut all that out. In fact, let's start again right now. Then he falls down, and then there's the fire guy with the crown. I'm going to look up his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I already forgot his name. But I think their banter is super fun and entertaining, and I think the whole opening is great.
I liked the opening. I'll give you the opening was pretty good, but I had a hard time getting into it. It didn't grab me immediately. I think that's one of the reasons I wasn't a huge fan of this movie is the opening was like, oh, he just broke the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I did not expect that for a Thor movie.
So, Scourge.
Scourge
is the fire guy.
He's a cool guy. I really liked him a lot. I thought he was a cool villain. And I liked how they brought him back later. I don't know. I just couldn't really get into that moment. Like, I know a lot of people say that captured him and that went through, that's what you said. But I just, it put me off. And it was weird to me. I don't know.
Well, it is, I think they did change Thor a little bit.
Yeah.
He's more funny now.
And that brings me to one of my other big problems with the movie is Chris Hemsworth improvisation. I think when Chris Hemsworth is a very different actor when he's on script and when he's doing improv. Like, you can tell in his voice and in his mannerisms, the way he acts. You can tell when he's acting from a script, and you can tell when he's doing improv. And most of the Thor, I was getting what's-his-face from 2016 Ghostbusters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was putting me off a lot.
Okay, I can see that. And, okay, I have a main point. I'm going to get to it, though. My main counter-argument against yours.
Okay.
But I love the joke the two jokes when he gets down, Scourge is like, Thor, son of Odin, and he's like, Scourge, son of a,
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
Yeah, that was good.
And then he's like, where is your crown? Because the crown holds the power. But the crown's on my head. Like, oh, I thought those were just big eyebrows. Things like that. I think they're great.
They just pulled me out of it, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just, Thor was a different person than the last time we saw him in Avengers 2. And I think that's what threw me off the most and kind of made the movie off kilter for me the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that coupled with just the fact that every time something happened, it didn't feel like it mattered to Thor or anybody.
Yeah. I mean, okay, then he like goes back to his home.
Asgard.
And he sees the play with Matt Damon.
Okay, I love that part. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably my favorite part of the movie with Matt Damon.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth's brother.
Yeah.
The other one.
and Anthony Hopkins improvising that scene. That was pretty good.
Oh, he was improvising that?
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins improv that scene. That was one of the places where I thought the improv was good. Most of the movie was improvised, and I have a problem with that. Depending on the actor, I think if had it been Iron Man, that would have been fine because I mean, Robert Downey Jr. like he improvises his scenes most of the time anyway.
Yeah,
and I think that's fine. But like I said, Chris Hemsworth, you can really tell when he's improvising.
Yeah.
With Robert Downey Jr., you can't really tell when he's on or off script in it, so it works a little better in my opinion.
Okay, but I will say when Sam Neill, like the guy from Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
When he came on screen, I got excited because I'm a big fan of Taika Waititi's other movie, Hunt for the Wilder People.
Hunt for the Wilder People.
I got so excited when I saw Sam Neill. I was like,
Hunt for the Wilder People is my favorite.
Yeah.
I forget how to say his name because I'm not from New
Zealand. I believe
Zealand.
it's Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi?
Something like that.
Anyway, he's a great director. He really is.
Mm-hmm.
He is really a great director. And that's Hunt for the Wilder People is my favorite one from him, and that's why I was excited for him to do Thor 3 because he mixed comedy and heart so well in that movie. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in this movie, the comedy was just turned all the way up and the heart was turned all the way down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't think it's actually all. So okay, I will say he picks up Loki. He goes to Earth to get Odin. I think. Something I am disappointed at about Doctor Strange being there, even though it's fun, I think that's a fun scene. At the end of Doctor Strange, there's the end credits scene where they are seen talking to each other.
Yeah, and so it built it up.
And you think they're going to go on a big adventure together, but that didn't happen.
I wanted Doctor Strange to go with them on this adventure, and I was really disappointed when he was like, well, see ya.
Yeah, I mean...
Be on your merry way.
And I think... Taika Waititi, he does some good, or he does these things where it seems like a low budget type of thing.
Yeah,
like when he's teleporting Thor, and it looks super low budget, but it works. You know,
he's a really good low budget director too. Mm-hmm. I think another great movie of his is What We Do in the Shadows. I love that movie. And that's mostly improv too. It's a great film. I love it so much.
I love that movie.
But yeah, that's a fairly low budget film, and that's really I think where Waititi really thrives.
Yeah, and I think some of the things he does. Like Thor being teleported, and it just looks like, they're blowing his arrow for a second, then cuts to the next location. Mm-hmm. I think it works for this movie.
Well, it does. I think the editing was fine. I didn't have any problems with the editing. I just had problems with, in story, too. I don't know. Another one of the things that I have an issue with is... his sister coming back, Odin dying, his sister comes back.
Yeah.
He loses his hammer.
Yeah.
And they don't give a crap, you know? You know what I mean?
I don't agree, but
I felt like that was
free to have that opinion.
That was a poorly executed scene, in my opinion. I didn't feel anything for Odin dying. I didn't feel anything for her coming back. I didn't feel anything when she broke the hammer, and it happened all too fast, all at once.
Okay, but
and then
I think that's why it works though, because I watched this movie, and then I watched half of it again because I liked it so much.
Okay.
So
you watched half of it again because you loved it.
Yeah. Then I had to go to bed because I was tired. Okay, but like, okay, Thor, he's been looking for stones. We don't see that. That's just what they say he's been doing ever since last time. And he hasn't seen Odin because, you know, he's just been doing that. Mm-hmm. So him and Loki catch up with their dad, and he knows it's his time to go, and he goes, and the second they even found out about Hela, she comes and destroys his hammer, and then the next second they're off in the light tunnel going back to Asgard.
Yeah.
And he finds himself
Bifrost.
Through the Bifrost, and he finds himself on Scarif, I believe.
Yeah,
even though I just watched this the other night. I think he had no time to react, and it was one thing after another. That's true. I think that's why it works.
But they played it up for a joke. When he was in the cell with the Rock Man, I don't remember his name.
Korg?
Sue me. Korg.
The best part of this movie.
And he was like, "Oh, so it was like a brother or something, and it just died." And Thor's like, "Yeah," and like they just played it for a joke. Like when Thor had a minute to kind of collect himself, instead they did it as a joke. And that upset me.
The first time they talk, Korg and Thor?
Yeah. So and I think that was a fine interaction, but what should have happened is that Thor should have reacted to losing his hammer and his father all in one fatal swoop, you know?
So this is actually the second time I was watching it like in a row because like, oh, again. But Thor is actually really upset with Loki at the beginning. Like,
yeah. As he would be.
Yeah.
He took over Asgard.
And I think him and Loki reconnecting throughout the movie is excellent. I think that
I'll give you that
moment.
I'll give you that they have really good moments throughout the movie together as brothers. I think that
because Thor is genuinely mad at him after all that happens.
I think Loki's character is probably my favorite part about Thor 3 is just the fact that Loki is more of a character. He becomes more sympathetic, and we get, you know, he becomes more humanized, I think, than any other any other movie with Loki in it.
He was like the best villain for the longest time.
Oh, he was, and
he still is one of the best in the.
And there's a really dumb theory going around. I think it's dumb. It's the theory where Loki was under control of the Mind Gem in Avengers. I think that undercuts everything about Avengers. I think Loki just did it because he wanted power.
Like he was controlling.
Yeah, Thanos was controlling him.
Oh no, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I've just heard that going
Loki
around.
is a great bad guy.
Loki is a great villain, and they made him into a good supporting character into this film, and they did that a little bit in Thor 2, but not as. I agree that Loki wasn't as good in Thor 2 as he was in Thor 3.
I think he's one of the best parts of that movie.
I agree.
But because Thor, he blames Loki for their dad dying. He blames him for that. And I guess I will say it does the joke, which I don't mind, with the hammer, losing his hammer. Because he was talking to Korg. He's like, I had this hammer. It swept me off my feet when I swung it. It's like, oh, you rode a hammer. You know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
The hammer rode you, like on your back. Like, no. I think it's just because it's made from a star. He just could never fathom it ever being destroyed. Because you get a really cool glimpse of how strong it is at the beginning when that giant dog dragon thing is after him. And he like just drops it in his mouth, and it's like just stuck there with the
That
hammer.
was super cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was really cool. I think another big problem I have with this movie is Hulk.
Yeah.
Because I feel like throughout the movie, Bruce Banner and Hulk had a really good, like, an interesting dynamic going on that we hadn't seen before. That was continued in Infinity War. But in Thor Ragnarok, I was fairly disappointed with it because they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and they played it off as a joke at the end. It's like...
With him and Hulk, or with
Bruce Banner and Hulk, and Bruce Banner just jumping off the thing, and they played that off as a joke. And it's like, there was no full circle, there was no closure, there was nothing there. And it just... It's like, why even have Hulk in this movie other than to have Hulk in this movie? I don't know. It was just weird.
I think that's the closest we're ever going to get to a Planet Hulk.
No, movie. I agree. And I
think that's why it's there.
Yeah, I like... I enjoyed seeing the Planet Hulk-esque stuff, because Planet Hulk is a pretty cool story.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand how we got there, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I know. The jets can fly into space or somehow
apparently, or there was a
or
wormhole,
whatever,
or something happened.
Oh,
and Hulk and Bruce are having issues, which I don't like. Like, again, I don't mind that Hulk and Bruce are having issues. I think that's a cool dynamic that they should explore more, and they obviously are, and are continuing to do it with Endgame and Infinity War. Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I will say, I think when Bruce Banner is a human, and I think there's some things that could have been better.
Yeah, the improv and his reactions weren't great.
Yeah. Somehow his improvisations as Hulk was better than when he was just a human.
Yeah, I liked Hulk better than Bruce Banner in that movie. It was weird. My favorite part about the movie is Thanos showing up at the end, honestly. I was so excited when I saw Thanos' ship.
Yeah.
Like, yeah! Get him!
No, I still lots of things to say.
Okay, Ryan, you need to go for a while.
All right,
I've been taking my points.
Here is my main counter argument. My main thing. The one I've been saving. It's wrapped up in pretty paper.
Mine is Thor Ragnarok is stupid. That's my main argument.
And here's... Well, your main argument is...
Let's unwrap this.
It undercuts every moment.
Yeah, the comedy undercuts the reactions.
Even though I definitely agree with you.
Okay.
I think the fact that it's so fun. It's an enjoyable experience watching this movie from beginning to end, that it's a good time. I think it could be forgiven for its flaws that way.
And I disagree. I had an okay time, but it's honestly, at the end of the day, Thor 3 just isn't my cup of tea. It's just not something I really enjoy, just because there are so many things that I would have to get over as, you know, a viewer of the other Thor movies, the other Avengers movies, that, you know, if they started this way, maybe I could get behind this, but...
Okay, but I think
still
it's evolved with us. It's, you know...
And that's true. I don't know. I just feel like they went too far in trying something new, trying to make it like Guardians.
I think it rules. I was watching it the other night, and I'm like, how does Kay not like this? This movie rules.
I liked Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
I do like Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, he's at Jeff Goldblum maximum level in this.
yeah, he's maximum Goldblum. I really enjoyed the Grandmaster's character. I'm sad that there wasn't a connection, like a more distinct connection with the Collector, because they're brothers.
Oh yeah.
The Grandmaster is the Collector's older brother, and I would like to see them interact at some point.
And hasn't the Grandmaster? He's fought the Avengers in comic books before, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
One of his biggest things, one of his favorite things to do is like challenge the Collector to games, and so they basically have little battle royales. Like, they each have their own champions, usually like the Avengers or Spider-Man and other heroes throughout the thing. And that was the whole thing they had in Thor Ragnarok, was the arena of champions, the contest of champions. That was the whole thing. And in the comic books, like, the Avengers made appearances there, and they had grand battles to fight each other. And that's his whole thing, and it's interesting.
Maybe we'll see him again.
I would like to, because I really like the Collector's dynamic with him.
No, the Collector died.
But still, we don't know if he's going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know.
I don't know. He died pre-snap, so...
I know, that's true, but I don't know. I'm really hoping he comes back just because I want to see them interact, because in the comics and other shows and stuff, they have a really... entertaining relationship, because the Grandmaster just wants to screw everything up, where the Collector just wants to keep things pristine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the Grandmaster just comes in and wants to make things fight.
See, okay, the Grandmaster, he's the main focus of the end credits scene.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst end credits scenes.
I agree. That's
But
one of the dumbest end
whatever.
credit scenes.
Okay, one of my complaints, though, Idris Elba as Heimdall, underused.
I agree.
Idris Elba is
He's
a beautiful
always-
man.
He is a beautiful man. I think he's
so
been underused
good
so
looking.
much.
You don't talk about how good looking Idris Elba is enough. But I do want to know your opinions on Valkyrie, and then
She was dumb.
Really?
I really didn't like Valkyrie. I thought she was an unsympathetic character. But I will say, her backstory scene, one of the best visuals I've ever seen
So cool.
in a Marvel movie, in
Yeah.
in any movie. Honestly, like that's one of the coolest visuals I've ever seen.
I
That
agree.
when she coming in on the horse, that whole backstory scene. I don't know. 1 second. What do you want?
Sorry, I can't not. I feel like you think she's unsympathetic because you've never been an alcoholic that lost everything.
And that makes
Ooh.
sense. That makes sense. Unsympathetic is the wrong word. Unlikable is, I think, the word I was looking for. I just don't like her as a character.
Okay, so
I think the problem was she reminded me a lot of Jessica Jones, and I really hated Jessica Jones in the TV show.
You want I thought about this. Know what I want to see? Because if Thor doesn't make it past Endgame,
Okay.
I think Valkyrie is gonna be in Thor. Like
Honestly,
Thor 4.
like,
It's
take
gonna
the
be called
Thor-
Valkyrie.
I'd be okay with
It's
that.
essentially gonna be Thor 4. That's
I'd be
think.
okay with more Valkyrie. I will say that I liked her by the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Her introduction I thought was weak.
She
with her super drunkenly falling off of a thing.
Yeah,
I thought that was just weak.
There are a few jokes that don't land.
And I think that she would be more. I don't know. I think she'd be have more of a connection with Thor because they are both from Asgard.
Yeah.
More than like I don't care, sell them.
See,
know?
well, that's what I like because she's killed that
That's
part
not
of her
bad.
past, you know? Because
I guess you've convinced me a little bit. Valkyrie's not as bad as I say she is. All right.
and now those two, her and
Men in Black 4.
Men in Black,
Right?
yeah.
Is it 4 or is it a reboot?
I think it's whatever. It's not a remake. It's
so
a
it's like
reboot.
same universe
Yeah,
sort of deal.
I think
Okay.
it is a sequel, but it's also a reboot. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I don't know. That'd be. We'll see. I guess.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
'Cause I love Men in
Just
Black.
Google it.
I honestly don't mind the second one as much as people. I'd like to rewatch.
Yeah, I should
those-
rewatch. I'm
Rewatch
sorry.
the
I
whole
love
trilogy again.
1 and
We
3
did
at
see
least.
3 together.
Yeah.
We did see 3 together.
I have a question though.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, how do you feel about when Hela comes and just kills Thor's friends?
Oh, I think that was stupid.
Really?
Like, yeah, I thought that I just don't feel like they gave it enough time. I think that was the biggest thing is like, I liked those characters.
Yeah.
And to just see them have an unceremonious just swipe away, I thought that was, I don't know. I like I said, I just think it was unceremonious.
I think it works because, for one thing, I don't have a strong connection with those guys.
I don't have a super strong connection, but I liked them.
And I think it showed how strong she was.
Yeah, no, and
Right
that's
away.
why they did it. I know that's why they did it. Like,
Yeah.
just to show off her power.
And what's his face? Zachary Levi, I don't know what his name is in Thor. He's now Shazam.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's him.
That's cool.
Zachary Levi.
I will say to cap my thoughts on Thor 3.
Mm-hmm.
After I watched Infinity War, I liked Thor 3 a lot better.
Yeah.
Because Infinity War gave Thor those moments he needed in his own movie that he didn't have.
Uh-huh.
And it was perfect. Like, it was still funny because Thor was doing his best to deflect what happened with humor to Rocket. You know,
Yeah,
Rocket
that's a great
That's
moment.
a great scene.
Yeah.
And he has that moment of everybody, my whole world just died. And then half of the survivors died. My brother died. My father died. I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no hammer. And all of the things that happen at the beginning of Infinity War and throughout Ragnarok sunk in and you could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that moment and moments like that with Thor in Infinity War, it made me like Thor 3 a lot better. At least appreciate what happened.
Yeah. That's interesting because my biggest complaint of Infinity War is how much it undercuts Thor 3.
Are you kidding me?
No. And that's my biggest complaint of Infinity War, a movie I love. But okay, just Thor 3.
You need to defend yourself here, Ryan.
I will. I just want to talk about Thor 3 more. There's so...
Alright, talk more about Thor 3.
Hela, I always thought was just a subpar
She was
villain.
okay.
But I think she's more fun than most Marvel villains. She's got some humor.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene or a line when she goes, every ruler needs an executor, and the executors execute their plans and also execute people. You know, something like that. I think stuff like that.
I liked Kate Blanchett as Thor.
I think
as Hela. I think one of my problems with Hela is before going into Ragnarok, I was really excited because I was hoping it would tie everything up nicely for Infinity War.
Yeah.
I think a big issue I had was the fact that I just, in my heart, really wanted Hela and Thanos to be a thing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because in the comics, the whole thing is Thanos is in love with the personification of death. And Hela was technically the personification of death.
That would have been really
and
cool.
That would have been awesome to see Thanos try to do all of this for her favor. But Infinity War's motivations of Thanos really humanized him and made him a great villain, and differentiated him from the comics so much that I think it's fine. I think it's fine what they did after seeing Infinity War. But at the time, I really wanted them to have a fling, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I really wanted that, and still part of me still wants that, just because it would parallel the comics so well.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't really have a thing, a fling, but that's another story. Anyway.
Uh-huh. So, I love Korg. Korg, everything he says is the best.
I'll admit he made me laugh, but at the same time, it's like, man, this guy's so annoying.
He tries to throw, like, a revolution, but he didn't print off enough pamphlets.
Yeah. Like, I'll admit Korg got me
funny.
a few times. He was pretty funny.
He's like, there's still blood and hair on this axe. Can we please clean our weapons? Stuff like that. It's love. It's just so good.
Korg. Right.
And have you seen a picture of him from the comics? He looks like the Thing. Like, basically, just like the Thing.
That was my first time ever seeing Korg was in the movie, but
me too.
Yeah, I actually didn't know he was in the comics before you just said that.
Yeah, that's what
he
looks like. I hope we see him and Valkyrie in the future.
He probably died.
But here's the thing. Apparently, at the beginning of Infinity War, there's half a ship is here, half a ship is there.
Yeah.
People
And Thor did mention in Ragnarok that half of his people were dead.
Yeah.
So there were presumably survivors.
They're keeping it safe. So, and I think what I love, my favorite moment, is when he's getting beat up by Thor or by Hela, and he has that vision where he's talking to Odin. Mm-hmm. He's like, my hammer's gone. I can't do this. Like, are you the god of hammers? No, he's the god of thunder.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And
I did like that moment.
Yeah.
So
good.
Give you that too.
Anyway.
But at the end of the day, it's still on the bottom half of the good to bad ratio.
See,
in my opinion.
Yeah. If I put my Marvel movies in tiers, 5 is the top. Thor 3 is still number 4. It's not the top. It's above average.
Bottom. Thor is like not dead last. There are worse Marvel movies.
Wait.
But Thor is down at Thor 3 is down at the bottom for me.
Yeah.
Just because of, I don't know, I just felt like it was such a slap in the face to all the time and effort of everything else of Thor itself. And it's just like, ooh, look, funny joke when this horrendous thing is happening. Literal genocide is happening, but there's a joke.
Yeah, I wish we had a stronger connection to Asgard.
Yeah, to care more about it.
Yeah. But, yeah, and I get the joke. The one that's the worst of that you're talking about is when Asgard gets destroyed. Because Korg is like,
we could rebuild.
We could rebuild. as long as there's strong enough foundation, and then
it
it gets
blows up.
destroyed. Oh.
And that's the one moment where it's like, just shut up, Korg. Just shut up for once in your life. Just shut up.
Wait,
Oh my gosh.
should we hear Cassie's thoughts on the movie?
Oh, she hates it too.
I don't know.
I think that it's very possible that they did all of the very, very funny things in Ragnarok very on purpose because of how hard Infinity War hit.
Oh, like preparing
you
you?
can't have Thor 3 filled with genocide and literal planet destruction and all of your family dying and have the weight of that on you and then go into Infinity War and take another hit.
That makes sense.
There's only so much that audiences can take, so it could have been very purposeful that they made it as funny as they did. Also, I think that Hela, her character, they relied too much on Cate Blanchett.
Yeah,
just being really charming. And
she was more like Cate Blanchett than what I would expect Hela to be.
that's true.
Yeah.
Hello should have been a more defined character.
That's a
But
the best thing about
That
her
makes
was how
sense.
funny she was, in my opinion.
I just think that like I said, I just think that Thor 3 just went too far. I respect what it tried to do, and I respect what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel like anything mattered. And at the end of the day, that puts it at the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I enjoyed it a lot more because of Infinity War. Like, it gave me those moments that I really wanted in the movie. So.
I think it works because, besides the fact it's fun, I think just Thor being able to lose everything, including his hammer and his dad, and having to deal with his brother, and them coming together, I think it makes it a really good story.
All right, Cassie, who won the debate?
Wait, I don't know. We can't declare actual winners. The
Audience, who won the debate?
Whoever listens
can
agree
poll.
with me.
Poll, who do you agree
We'll put up a
with?
straw poll after.
Yeah, there we go.
Y'all can vote on
But
it.
Go into the comments, tell us who you agree with.
I did to explain my Infinity War.
Okay, yeah, talk about Infinity War a little bit.
Because Infinity War seems to take back everything I liked from Thor 3, including his eye.
Yeah, I agree.
They gave him back his eye. He doesn't use his lightning that he was kicking butt with this thing at the end of Thor 3. It's never used in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Would have been cool. And even though his whole purpose in Infinity War is to get a new hammer, the only reason that works is because it's like the mega hammer. Not even the Infinity Gauntlet can stop it. You know?
Yeah.
He didn't need a hammer to replace his old hammer. He needed something to kill Thanos. And in the end of the movie, Thanos uses the entire glove to stop the hammer, and it can't even do that. And that's the only reason it works. I just wish it was like, oh, I don't need a hammer. Just
Yeah, and I think I don't know. At the same time, Thor took a really big blow at the beginning of Infinity War 2, and I think that kind of tipped him over the edge a little bit. But even then, he was still willing to go out and do something about it. I think I do really agree with you and the eye thing.
Yeah.
The eye thing
he
bugs
should
me
have
a
kept
lot.
the patch. That'd have been so cool.
The patch would have been way cooler, and it parallels him to Odin. And I think it is dumb that they gave him his eye back. But I don't think it's something that really bugs me all that much.
Doesn't really matter, I suppose.
Could have been actor preference.
Yeah.
It's true. There could be some small, dumb little reason that he got his eye back.
So, Thor 3, we disagree.
Oh, that rhymed. You're a poet, and you didn't even know that you were
There
one.
you go. That's the title of the podcast.
Second
Thor
balcony.
We disagree.
Second balcony.
All right, we're going to have the rest, next 5 episodes about this very thing as well.
Yep, the same. We don't know what movie we're going to talk about next week, but we will have a guest appearing on as well.
We do know what movies we're going to talk about. We just don't know which one will be next time.
Yeah, but hope you enjoy. Stick around. We're going to talk a little bit about some trailers that just dropped.
Wait, we should explain. Second balcony, it's another name for the peanut gallery.
Yeah, it's where hecklers and people who won't shut up during movies go, or during plays, not movies.
Operas.
So operas,
Operas.
operas. It comes from the term operas.
All right, so first movie trailer. Pokemon.
Pokemans.
Detective Pikachu.
Okay, all right, Detective Pikachu.
I think it looks so bad, but I can't wait till I can see it.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? It's like if R.I.P.D. had a baby with any talking dog movie.
I never saw R.I.P.D.
It had Ryan Reynolds in it. It's like a cop Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah, it looks like a PG Deadpool a little bit.
Yeah, Deadpool 3, The Great Mouse Detective.
Maybe Hollywood's just.
That's a good
I got that joke off of a meme. So.
Oh, I revert my laugh back. I take that back. But okay, the new trailer.
I'm excited. The new trailer made it better for me.
I don't know what it is, but Mewtwo is just the coolest.
Yeah, Mewtwo's always been the
Mewtwo
coolest.
is so cool. I like rewatched it just to get to that part. You know?
I'm gonna have
Mew
a
would
good
be
time
so
with it.
dope.
I think I'm gonna have the same problem with Ryan Reynolds in this movie as I did with Deadpool, the first one especially, is the fact that Ryan Reynolds is a great actor, but a lot of the comedy comes through his facial expressions, and it's limited with Deadpool. But I've kind of gotten used to it with Deadpool now that there's 2 of them out. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Yeah, and you get a little bit with Pikachu's face, but
how do you think the Pokemon look? I mean, I think it looks great.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
My,
just gonna ignore that.
My biggest
Pokemon.
my biggest problem with the way the Pokemon look is I would much rather have them look more like animals. Like I don't want just like hyper realistic versions of the Pokemon we already know. I want to see new models, new designs that look more realistic if we're going to do a live action. That's my only beef with how they look.
Mm-hmm. I think they look strange.
They do. It's weird. They're weird looking. I mean, it's entertaining. And like you said, it looks so bad. It's
but
good.
I can't wait to see it.
Charizard is awesome.
Yeah.
I loved Charizard in the trailer, and how Pikachu is like, Ryan Reynolds like, I can't do it while people are watching.
Yeah. And I just hope the boy isn't super annoying. I think his name is Justice Smith. I'm gonna look it up.
Something. Yeah, I think he'll be as long as he can play a good straight man. I think he'll be fine. Most of the comedy is gonna come through. What are you looking at me for?
Yeah, Justice Smith.
I think most. Yeah, I thought that was. Okay, the first time I saw his name on screen, I thought it was Jaden Smith, and I'm like,
what? He changed.
Wow.
Yeah, I will see it. I'll be seeing Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, we'll have a extensive review.
I just think it's so strange how
balcony.
the first Pokemon movie that is just coming out in real
live action.
Live action Detective Pikachu.
Live action with quotes. Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
it's strange.
Because the first movie made me cry when I was a little kid.
I don't even remember it. I'm gonna
I
have
was
to
in
watch it
kindergarten
again.
when it came out. 2000.
Wow.
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 It's a good
It's
one.
possible that their choice of movie directly correlated with what games were being bought at the time.
That's true.
Or
and I don't know.
Do you think a movie based off the original story would do well now?
For adults?
I think it would do
For
well
adults.
That's not their aim.
if they made a more adult version of Pokemon. I think they could get away with doing something a little darker, a little grittier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Pokemon itself is a fairly dark concept if you think about it. It's children's dog fights.
Yeah, it totally is.
There's a Pokemon that legitimately kidnaps children for candy. So
Yeah, and there's like freaking ghosts and monsters and like people that got
They're pocket
turned
monsters.
Yeah, I know what it stands for. Oh, it's a little terrifying and weird if you look too much at it.
Yeah, I only played until they left Game Boy Advance, so like Ruby or Sapphire.
I've really only played Red. Red is the only one I've ever played.
That's the only one you need to play.
I agree.
But a Pokemon's popularity I don't understand is Greninja. And he's in the trailer.
I don't even know what that one is.
His tongue is his scarf. He's also in Smash Brothers. He's a popular one. I don't know why, though. His tongue is his scarf. I don't know if we said that.
Who's your favorite Pokemon, Ryan?
I've always said Growlithe,
Okay.
But there are cooler ones. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I was a fan of Nidoking. I think Raichu is cooler than Pikachu, but
I don't know.
he's the mascot.
Pikachu's
You
pretty
can't-
cool.
can't
I like
touch him.
Pikachu. I'm a
Blastoise?
normie when it comes to Pokemon. I like Pikachu. I like the starter Pokemon. I like
all three.
yeah,
I think all three.
they're all great. Squirtle's awesome.
Yeah. What is your history with Pokemon, Cassie? Did you grow up playing it on the Game Boy Color?
On the
played
Pokemans.
Probably a total of maybe 5 hours on Pokemon games
Oh,
for my
wow.
entire.
That's untrue. You have
20
Pokemon Go and you play it all the time.
That does not count. It is not the same company.
Still Pokemon.
They literally, at the time of recording, announced a new game just yesterday.
Oh, really?
For
What
the
was it?
Switch. Pokemon, I think it's Sword and Shield. And
Okay.
I will be buying those. One.
Oh, and I will play it at your house.
Yeah.
We'll move on from Pokemon.
Okay,
But
moving on.
before we do, did you know that our friend Kellen has Pokemon Green for the Game Boy?
The one that only
Color.
came out in Japan.
Yeah. So there was Yellow and Red in America, and then Pokemon Green also came out only in Japan, and he has
Interesting.
a copy of it.
When I was a kid, when I had a Game Boy Color, I got blue. My brother got yellow, and my other brother got red. Like, same
Yeah,
Christmas. And we traded with each other and everything. Yeah,
Fun.
I grew up with blue first.
Red was mine because my brother
Mhm.
got Red, and then
Yeah.
I ended up playing it a lot.
Man, I'm feeling nostalgic right now.
All right, let's move on to the next trailer.
Mine was either silver or sapphire.
Let's move on to the next trailer.
Phoenix.
Dark
X-Men.
Phoenix. X-Men.
I forgot about this movie.
Pokemans and X-Mans.
So we watched the trailer together before we
Yeah.
recorded.
I actually didn't see the trailer. I didn't know it was out until then.
It super heavily suggests Mystique just gets killed.
I will also preface this with I didn't watch Apocalypse.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I don't know how you missed. I mean, I understand how you missed it.
It
But-
felt like a chore, and I
Oh,
just
yeah.
didn't do it.
I think this trailer has some cool looking things going on, but I kind of hope they just stop with the Fox X-Men and
Yeah,
X-Men just
hard
joins the
reboot.
MCU. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Hard reboot. And whatever happened to New Mutants? I was excited for that.
Oh, the horror film?
Yeah, the horror movie. I was way excited for that.
It got dropped, I guess.
There were trailers in the theater, and I was excited.
Maybe, I don't know if this is the reason. Maybe we could look up the reason. But
Yeah.
the one guy who's also in Stranger Things got arrested for drug
Abuse.
possession. I don't know if that's a direct correlation.
Okay.
I just know that happened.
Yeah, because I really wanted it. I think it's a great idea for superhero movies to branch out into other
Yeah.
genres.
No, I
like
definitely-
horror movies, even a
Rom-com.
rom-com would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Scarlet Witch and Vision. That would be a great rom-com. I'd watch that. I'd watch the crap out of that.
They have kids in the comics, right?
But I don't know.
According to Wikipedia, The New Mutants is scheduled to come out on August 2nd, 2019.
Okay,
Ooh.
then we'll review that too.
Yeah, I forgot about this movie, Dark Phoenix, and
Yeah.
and I saw Alita Battle Angel, and there's a trailer for it. I'm like, oh yeah, this
Alita
thing,
Battle Angel.
which I liked. Kate probably won't,
I probably won't like it, but I'll watch it eventually.
but yeah, maybe we do that. We'll pin that in the
Yeah.
future.
I don't
Not
know.
high on the list,
It's
but
I don't know. Dark Phoenix. It just looks. It looks like. Why are you doing this story again? You failed the first time, and it looks like you're gonna fail
it
again
looks like a remake. It looks like
Yeah.
a remake of The Last Stand.
without Wolverine.
Yeah,
Nightcrawler's in it though. Nightcrawler's awesome.
yeah.
I like
Nightcrawler's
him.
in Apocalypse,
I
which
know.
you did not
I
see.
need to see Apocalypse. I just never got around to it. I got bored really bad. Logan's awesome though. Logan's
so
is
good,
Such a good movie.
so good. But yeah, I guess
Oh my gosh.
I want X-Men in the MCU now.
Yeah, they just need to just release whatever they have made now.
Yeah.
Hard reboot for the MCU. Maybe they're hidden away somewhere.
But I do think Dark Phoenix, it has some promise to it. I think there's some
alright.
things
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it looks like I'll watch it, but it's feeling the same way Apocalypse did, in my opinion. It's just not something I wanted to get around to.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably will get around to this one, but...
Yeah.
Gosh,
Well,
I still gotta fill about
we
10
are
more minutes.
50... Well, Oscars just happened at the time of recording.
That's true.
And we
Oscars
watched them together.
Happened this week.
All of us. All three of us were there.
Yep, we all watched them. They were what I would expect
No.
from the Academy.
Did you expect?
I expected what it was, not who won. I didn't really pay attention though.
I'll say these are my favorite things about the Oscars.
Okay.
No host seemed to work better.
Yeah, it's true.
I forget names. Who won Best Actress? Everything about that.
I don't even think I paid attention.
She is just her whole speech. I watched it like 2 times since it's.
I didn't pay attention, so maybe I should watch it.
Because she comes off as so genuine and humble. Olivia Colman. For The Favorite.
The Favorite.
As Queen Anne.
I probably will skip The Favorite. I'm not going to lie.
I'll see it. I want to see it.
Maybe we could watch it together sometime.
Her speech, she's just so shocked. She's so humble and grateful. It's so great.
I'll watch it.
The next best thing is Samuel L. Jackson opening up the Oscar for Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Because he was announcing it, and he's so excited for Spike Lee.
Yeah, he was.
Spike Lee comes up and gives him a hug with his arms and legs.
That was a nice little moment.
Oh man! And then when Samuel L. Jackson opens up the winner for Best Picture, his face is like, "What?
Yeah. Huh? What?
Green book?
Green? What's this?
What's this green book? I hear."
All right.
Did anyone see
my favorite things about the Oscars? Number 1, Spider-Verse won. That's all I wanted from the Oscars. I wanted Spider-Verse to win because it truly deserved it. From the studio that brought us the Emoji Movie comes one of the best films I've ever seen in my life, and I couldn't believe it. Like that's like I was always gonna go see the Spider-Verse movie. I'm a big Spider-Man fanboy, as you can tell from my hat. But yeah, it just blew me away. Like I had fairly high expectations for it, and it like surpassed them, so it definitely deserved it.
Well, I sent you a video of part of the animation for Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
Like there's how old cartoons it was animated on twos.
Yeah.
I put that in quotations because on twos means instead of making a separate slide for movement, they just show the same movement, but they take it over. It's on twos instead of on one, so it's not as smooth, but it's cheaper. In
Easier.
Spider-Verse, some characters are animated on twos at some parts of the movie. Like when he's getting...
Like
Miles is getting trained.
Okay.
He's on twos, but Peter Parker's on ones to kind of show visually he's more experienced. And it's just like things like that are amazing.
That's for sure one of the best parts about Spider-Verse is the animation and the different styles, because it even subtly changes after they turn on the machine every time. Like the animation style changes a little bit to like visually cue that something is different.
Yeah.
And each of the characters from the different universes are animated slightly differently, or even sometimes drastically differently, and that's amazing what they did with it.
Yeah, because like things like the cars driving in the rain looks so real, and then all the people look cartoon, and it looks so cool. It looks so good. I love how we started talking about the Oscars, but we just both want to talk about Spider-Verse.
I think we should talk about Spider-Verse another time.
Well, we both love it.
We do. We won't argue about it, but I think we can talk a little bit more, review it together on a separate video.
Different thing. Anything else about the Oscars that you remember?
I really enjoyed the fact that Black Panther did not win Best Picture. I'm not gonna lie, like Black Panther's a great movie, and
I agree.
I don't think it did as much as they said it did, but I still think it is an important movie, and I still think that it deserves some of the awards it got. It got for sure.
Yeah,
but it was not Best Picture. It was not best.
The best
superhero movie even. I think that Infinity War should have won visual effects, but that being said, I still have not seen First Man, and I
know.
can believe that it deserves it.
Yeah.
I can believe the First Man deserves that Oscar.
See, I don't know. Like,
But-
cause do you remember when Ex Machina won for best visual effects?
Yeah.
And yeah, the visual effects are good, but how do you compare? Is it like? It's obviously they're just voting for what they like, but
Yeah.
there's bigger visual effects in other movies that look great that came out that year, but that one's just so specific. I mean, visual effects is almost kind of like opinions, you know?
Yeah, well, all
them
of
are-
it's opinions.
Yeah, that's
it's just
true, whatever.
the Academy is just people who have been nominated for Oscars.
Yeah,
and
that's
and
true.
it's it's very politically driven, and it's very niche, and oftentimes it doesn't reflect reality.
So if the most popular movie, if that award didn't get cut, what would you have nominated for most popular movie?
I think, strictly speaking, most popular.
Mhm.
I think, of course, Infinity War.
Infinity
I think
War.
Infinity War would have won.
Infinity War, Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther probably would
Yeah.
have beat out Infinity, but they shouldn't. It shouldn't have. Infinity War is a better movie than Black Panther.
You talk about box office. Black
Um,
Panther made more money.
That's
Yeah.
true. So it may have won,
It's-
and that's a harder one to judge too, because like that's a more
Most popular. What does that even
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Because I think
Even
Spider-Verse, I think would be
Spider-Verse.
in there. Would have been in there too.
I think even Aquaman would have been in that because
Really?
Aquaman has made so much money. I
Ridiculous
was
money.
bored through a lot of Aquaman, but it made so much money,
Aquaman's ridiculous.
and I liked it. Like,
Yeah,
I liked the movie.
I like it because it's so ridiculous.
But it was like the parts I didn't like was it was a long, boring history lesson on Atlantis throughout most of it.
And all the seven nations. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
blah 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 blah.
Okay, so
Atlantis.
that's what other besides superhero movies even came out last year?
Like I don't even know what it would have been super popular. Maybe Solo.
No,
Except for nobody liked
oh
Solo.
my goodness. No would have saved Solo.
Better everything.
No, if the Rob Lord and
Oh,
Phil
yeah,
Lord and Rob.
The Lego Movie people.
Yeah, the
stayed
people
on.
who did Spider-Verse, if they just did the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Solo was a bad idea from the start. I think
Yeah.
good ideas include Boba Fett.
That movie got
Obi-Wan. Yeah, it got canceled because Solo did poorly, and it's like, no, people want Boba Fett more than they want Solo.
The worst thing about Solo is they had an open ending for a sequel that we will probably never see.
I'm cool with it though. I don't want
Yeah,
that
but
sequel.
it would be a Darth Maul movie.
That's true. Okay, I want an Obi-Wan movie with Darth Maul, and I will explain that in a separate video. My plot for the Obi-Wan movie.
Maybe they're trying to go the MCU route and make it like Solo, the origin movie for all of the other characters.
Yeah, that's not.
That's stupid. Let's not do that.
It's not, but I believe Disney would do it.
Yeah, I agree. Disney probably would do something like that.
So, I must say, second balcony. This podcast is about us debating movies, but then since we love movies so much, both of us, you'll see that second last half hour of us was just us talking about movies.
And
'Cause
movie news.
We like that.
We're also going to have other segments. We're going to have segments including pitches for potential sequels that
Yeah.
we'd like to see, fan theories, and we will also, at some point, start producing our own movie reviews together.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of, we base our movies off of our scores on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So let's give them our Letterboxd name so they can find us.
Yeah, come add us as friends on Letterboxd.
You can see
come
how
check us out.
our opinions and how either super basic we are.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. It's just for fun, really.
I will say that Ryan is very liberal with his 5 stars.
No, I'm not. Maybe a little bit.
All right. Go ahead and add me. My name is Stan All Y, STANALLY.
My name, Mr. Shirai Hud. Let's
Go
say
ahead.
thanks for listening. Please rate and review us. That's what helps other people find us.
Yeah, leave a comment if you're able to. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time here on Second Balcony.